Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Uh, Today's video will be a Week 10 recap. We went 8-5 this week, a lot better than last week. Um, and yeah, so we'll just get started. Monday Night Football, Broncos Bills. If you are a Bills fan, I'm very sorry. And I'm sure everyone has been saying this the past couple weeks now, but Josh Allen, I don't know what's going on with Josh Allen. He's had these type of games in the past where he'll just have a bad read or a bad play and just completely just throw an interception. And in the past, in his first couple of years, it's understandable, getting used to the league and whatnot. But there was a moment there in probably 2020 to last season, I would say, where he would have he would still turn the ball over, but not to this extent, not to it's essentially like he's playing Madden out there and like but I mean that in a bad way. Um you know how sometimes he'll just get on Madden and just throw picks. That's kind of the analogy I'm making here, where it just seems like he's just so careless with the ball. And I don't know why that's like happening now. It kind of like started last season, I would say. Um, and it just got worse and worse. And now it's to this point where, I mean, you sh you should have beaten this team by 20. Um, at least if this was last year's Bills, they would have beaten this team by 20. And seeing the Bills be 5-5 is just shocking. I mean, everyone thought that they would be a contender this year. Um, but it's just not the way they play football is just not sustainable. And then, granted, they have had plenty of injuries on the defensive side of the ball, but it's just brutal. You just can't be turning the ball over this much. Um, for Denver, however, Russell Wilson, that was one of his better games. 24 for 29, two touchdowns, and the Denver has quietly kind of been figuring it out. It seems like their defense is kind of getting to that point where it was last year, how they were just so good on defense, and then this year they started out pretty bad. But it's slowly getting there. You can slowly see an identity with this team. That has to probably feel great if you're a Broncos fan. It's kind of This game kind of has a chance to define both of these teams' seasons. I know that's very harsh, but like this is the game with the Bills where it's like, okay, like it's panic mode, you know? When they lost a couple games there, it was like, well, one of them was in London, another one was with injuries, this and that. And so like but it's like after today, like this is a big enough sample size to where I don't think this team is gonna make the playoffs as of right now. And then Denver, they're kind of getting it together, like I said, in this game, along with last week's game. Like they're like they could find a way to get into the wild card. That's asking a lot, but if it were to happen, a game like tonight is what would have started that, is what I'm trying to say. Um, and yeah, let me know your thoughts on Josh Allen. He is so talented and he has so much potential, and we've seen it like for a while, but it's just yeah, I feel like his turnover problem has just gotten worse over last season and this season. So let me know your thoughts on that. Uh, then we'll start with Colts Patriots. This game was brutal. 10-6, just awful. I see a lot of people saying Bill Belichick should be fired, and I've given my thoughts on why he's the greatest coach of all time, and I think that's silly to fire him. Um, and my main takeaway from this game, this is a silly takeaway, but they won 10 games with Mac Jones in his rookie start, his first year. And it's like, how? How did that? Like, this team stinks. Mac Jones got benched. He got officially benched. It wasn't like in previous games when he got benched, it was because of blowouts and just to protect your starters. But this game, he got benched. This was a winnable game, and he got benched. Um, I think his role, if he's going to stay in the NFL, it's going to be as a backup quarterback. Um, I thought the Colts defense played well. I think the Colts defense is pretty good for a bad team. That is, I guess I should say. Um, and yeah, so I think this is kind of like the last game I just reviewed, where the Patriots, it's like, you know, they have no direction right now, whereas the Colts, it feels like they're building a direction. My main fear with them is Anthony Richardson, if he can stay healthy. He already lost his rookie season because of a shoulder surgery. And if he can just stay healthy in his career for the most part, and their head coach, Shane Steichen, can protect him a bit more, I think the Colts will be a great team in the future. I don't know how far in the future, but I see like the foundation there. Next, we got Browns, Ravens, 33-31 Browns. Um, felt like the Ravens kind of just gave this game away. Cleveland scored 16 points in the fourth quarter. There's a moment in this game where Lamar Jackson ran out of bounds and got hit, and it caused a huge like scuffle on the sideline. And from that point on, it just seemed like Cleveland was very physical and like, hey, we're gonna go take this game, and Baltimore was just hanging on, and Baltimore was just making mistakes. And I've said all season, Baltimore isn't really making mistakes, but they made them in this game. Um, Lamar Jackson had two interceptions, and I don't know. Lamar was my MVP pick for a little bit there until this game, and he didn't look great. Granted, the Browns defense does that to almost any quarterback, I think, but yeah, that a game like this is kind of why people don't believe in Lamar, is that come playoff time, when you play against teams like this might be what happens. As for the Browns, this game is why you went and got a quarterback like this, Deshaun Watson. It's why you paid him so much money, so many picks. It's why he took the PR hit to get this guy. And It might have been his best game he ever played with the Browns, I think. Um, he played a great second half and really brought them back from multiple scores down to win the game. And the Browns are 6-3, and that's uh pretty crazy to think because it's kind of like the Steelers, how they're just winning games in spite of themselves, and it kind of feels like that with the Browns. Um, I don't know. And I love AFC North division games. Like that is just pure football euphoria with how physical it is and how these teams just hate each other. I love it. Uh, Next we got Steelers Packers. This game, Jordan Love had a chance to win this game at the end, and he threw yet another pick in a clutch situation. He wasn't great. I don't know. Let me know what you if you are a Packers fan or have thoughts on the Packers. Let me know what you think about Jordan Love. I feel like I'm too harsh on him at times, but then I see a game like this and it's just like, man, like he shouldn't look this bad, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Steelers, they are 6-3, despite, like I said, they're winning in spite of themselves. I think they have been outgained in every game this season, but yet they've won six of them. That's like NFL history something record. Um, and that's just like what Mike Tomlin does. He just him, TJ Watt, and this defense will just figure out a way to get you off the field, even when your own offense is just playing like garbage. Um, yeah, I'm gonna move through some of these kind of quickly. Next we got Niners Jags 34-3. This was awful. Um, Brock Purdy played great. I gotta give it to him. Uh, when the Niners are ahead, they they have time to run their pre-snap motion and their run game, and it is just so elite. It's just if you go down to this team, you are not coming back, it feels like. Um, I feel like Brock Purdy did have some turnover worthy plays, but they ended up not converting into turnovers. But we've seen in some of these games they did convert to turnovers. As for the Jags, they do not have a solid foundation. And what I mean by that is like their offensive line and defensive line. Their defensive line is getting no pressure whatsoever. Their only good player is Josh Allen, and Trent Williams just neutralized him, which he does that to a lot of players. I'm not gonna say otherwise, but like this Niners offensive line is not great outside of Trent Williams, and they couldn't get pressure. They couldn't sack him. They couldn't get pressure. Nothing was going right. Absolutely nothing. The secondary was just getting cooked, and just awful. Offensively, they couldn't get anything going because the foundation was just weak. Excuse me. Every time Trevor Lawrence dropped back, he was pressured every time. And people have been like trashing on Trevor Lawrence because of this game, and I get it. He did not play well, but tell me one quarterback that would play well in that situation. I mean, I don't think people understand how bad this offensive line is. This is like Giants level bad. Like, and then combined with the receivers have been underwhelming this year, it's just not good. And I believe Trevor Lawrence is going to have a career like Matt Stafford, where he tries to get it done in Detroit and just can't because he's just getting beat up all day. And then eventually he'll go win a ring with a real team. Uh, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate because Jags fans have been in hell for a long time, and they deserve better. Um, but yeah, it just feels like they just can't protect him. They just can't protect Lawrence, and he's getting beat up. He can't read the routes because he's getting pressured in 2 seconds. Everyone's saying, why don't they throw to Ridley? Why don't they throw to Ridley? It's because he physically can't read if he's open or not within the time allowed. And I feel like that's important to stress because everyone's getting their hot takes off as, oh, Trevor Lawrence is a bust, this and that. And it's just like, you guys aren't watching the games. You're just reading box scores. And it, and you're just trying to grift your way through the media for a career. It's just like, I don't know, just try and watch a damn game. But yeah, Niners are back with Trent Williams and Debo, as we all kind of expected. And I didn't like how they tried to get Christian McCaffrey another touchdown for his record. You're up 31 points with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Take your starters out. Like, this is why I can't stand these front running teams. Like, the Niners are so good, but I just can't stand them. I think Shanahan is a loser, but it's like he doesn't care about his players' health. Like Brock Purdy got a concussion, played the next week, made it even worse, and now he's out here running his injury-prone running back for a touchdown record in a game that is well in hand, and I don't know. That's I mean, he could have gotten hurt. A Jags player could have made a dirty play because they're down 30 and you're trying to front run. I'm just saying that type of stuff will bite you in the ass. Next, we got Saints at Vikings. Vikings won 27-19. Uh, the story of Josh Dobbs continues. And I think it's great. It's something that as football fans we should all enjoy, I guess. So I should say. And he's given Minnesota like actual life after that Kirk Cousins injury. As for the Saints, Derek Carr got injured. They played Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston experience happened again. It's like for a second you're like, man, this guy should be starting for them. Like he's getting them touchdowns. He's getting them down the field, and then he throws an interception. You're just like, oh, that's why he's not starting for them. Uh, but let me know what you think about Jameis Winston. I wish he could play more because he's just electric to watch, but man, he has a turnover problem, as we all know. I mean, I'm not saying anything new there. Um, sorry, I don't have a lot on this game, but the story of Josh Dobbs is very exciting. Next, we got Texans Bengals. The Texans are alive for their division. CJ Stroud is just, I mean, he might be the greatest rookie quarterback of all time, and I'm not exaggerating. 356 yards, touchdown. He had an interception, but he completely made up for it. I mean, they won the game too. I saw a tweet that said like Joe Burrow just got Joe Burrowed, and what that means is like CJ Stroud just completely went out and took the game from them like cold-blooded. It was great. Uh I'm sorry, I'm very tired and it is 4 a.m. I'm just trying to get this video done. If you're at Cincinnati, It's concerning. I mean, I just don't know how good the Texans are though, because like Cincinnati, they've looked like one of the best teams in the NFL these past few weeks. You know, they beat the Niners, they beat the Bills, but like this is a game they should have won, unless if the Texans are just some wagon, which they could end up being with CJ Stroud playing like this. I mean, if he plays like this, he's gonna win MVP as a rookie. But it's I don't know. Joe Burrow had two interceptions. It's kind of concerning. I know Jamar Chase played injured, but he still did well. Missing T. Higgins is really affecting them. But yeah, great game here. Might have been the best game of the week. You should check this one out if you haven't. Like check out the highlights. I mean, um, next we got Lions Chargers. Lions won this 41 to 38. This was a great game as well. My question is, why can't the Chargers just stop anyone? Like, this is supposed to be a good defense. You have a good defensive coach, you have defensive players. Why can't you stop anyone? And granted, like, I mean, I want to give credit to the Lions, but this is a theme with the Chargers every week. Like, they just can't stop anyone. Um, Justin Herbert was great. One of these games as to why shows why Justin Herbert has all this potential and why everyone is so high on him. 323 yards, four touchdowns. The guy, I mean, he was just amazing. And I really wish that the Chargers would get a real head coach because Justin Herbert deserves to have a chance to do something special with his career, but it's not going to happen with Brandon Staley. It's just not. As for the Lions, I think they're going to get the one seed in the NFC. And the way Goff plays at home, they could beat anyone. As a Eagles fan, they could beat the Eagles at home. Now, if the game was at the Link, that would go differently. But they play great at home, and I think they're gonna get that one seed because they have a great schedule. I mean, easy. Uh, and then granted, with the Eagles, their schedule coming up, well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. um, Goff played well. 23 for 33, 333 yards, two touchdowns is great. It's kind of cool, I guess, see him have that performance in LA. Granted, it's not the same team, but different LA team. But yeah, next, well, I'm sorry, I'm going through these games really fast. Next, we got Cardinals Falcons. I picked the Cardinals here because Kyler Murray came back, and I said Taylor Heineke was too, his variance is just too unstable for me to pick. But he wasn't necessarily bad. He didn't lose them the game or anything, but he didn't do much. He was 8 for 15, 55 yards. I think eventually they put Desmond Ritter in just because Heineke wasn't really doing much. Kyler Murray looked great. I like, I thought you couldn't even tell that he had an ACL surgery. I mean, he was running as fast as he always does. He was scrambling great. He played great. I know the NFL community likes to make fun of Kyler Murray a lot, and I have at times. Um, but he's a great quarterback, and if a lot of people, myself included, were saying that the Cardinals were going to get Caleb Williams. The Cardinals could win some games here and not be in a position to draft a quarterback, and they'll be with Kyler Murray, and that's okay. I think that's okay. I just, I don't know. I think Kyler Murray is a capable quarterback. I don't know if you're going to win a Super Bowl with him, but but like I think he can like get the job done to put you in a contending position one day, I guess is how I should frame it. Next, we got Cowboys Giants again, another front running NFC team. It's like, God, can you guys just beat a good team, please? Either beat a good team, like you haven't beat a team with a winning record this year, and you're up 30 points in the fourth quarter, still passing. I mean, just what are we doing? Like, why? Like, they just blow these teams out. And okay, it's okay to blow teams out. Like, I'm not trying to say that, but what I'm just trying to say is throwing the ball, trying to run up the scoreboard against a team with me playing quarterback. Like, this Giants team is dead. I mean, they are dead. And you're just like running up the score for no reason. This is a theme with them. It's just I'm so sick of front running, man. And I did give them props last week. I'm not this isn't blind Eagles fan hate. Like I gave them props last week because they had a good performance and I would be worried about playing them in the playoffs. Um but it's like it's just so annoying. Um and yeah. Next we got Commanders at Seahawks. Washington, they just like won't die. They aren't that good, but the way like they just won't die. They have good players. Sam Howell, he led a touchdown drive in like the last couple minutes to tie the game. But, Seattle, they eventually won the game. But like this game was very close. It shouldn't have been that close. Um, Seattle, they seem like the Jags of the NFC. Like they're almost there, but they have these questions. Like I'm not sure about their offensive line. Gino gives me worries. Um, and it's just, I don't know. I guess all I'm trying to say is I'm a little worried about them. Um, Next we got Jets Raiders. Don't have much to say about this game. Everyone keeps trashing on Zach Wilson, and I mean I get it. Like he's not good, and everyone's sick of seeing the Jets in prime time, and so I do get it. But he played okay. He's done. I know he's had some bad moments this season, but like that offensive line is not helping at all. Um, and at the end of the day, he had a chance to win this game and almost did. And I just think he gets so much hate, and I'd just like to see him like win a game. That's all I like want. Like I'm not a Jets fan. I don't like Zach Wilson really. I just think all the hate that he gets is just like I'd like to see him just win a game. I guess it would feel good for all football fans, I think. Um, yeah. Sorry, this video is more free flowing format. I just had to get this video out because it is late and it's already Monday or Tuesday now. Um, and yeah, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.